Sweetie, sweetie, sweetie. I like you, girl. I do. I like you. You are a great addition to Married to Medicine. Welcome, girl. You about to give Dr. Heavenly a run for her money, ain't you, bitch? Hey, what's up and hello? This is the Chris Nicole giving you my views on life, love, and the world of entertainment through my eyes. And this is my review on Married to Medicine, Season 10, Episode 4, Revenge of the Bride. And baby, that revenge was sweet. Ugh. Oh, it was sweet. It was just a little bit though, just a little bit, but that little time was so sweet. So we start off with Dr. Jackie and Heavenly visiting Fake Dra and Child. I didn't know Dr. Jackie is afraid of dogs. I mean, what does Dr. Jackie actually like? She just seems so blah, so bland. I don't know. But moving on. So they talk about, why would you bring Quad to the bachelorette party? And of course, here comes the fake BS with Phaedra. And she says that, she felt it would help solidify Sweet Tea's position because, honestly, y'all are all Quad's friends, not Sweet Tea's friends. And I'm like, how in the hell would it solidify her position? Like, Phaedra is such a bullshitter. It's ridiculous. So, Dr. Jackie, however, had to let it be known that she ain't friends with Quad. She's like, we not friends like that. And she said Quad is not available unless it works for Quad. And I mean, I can see that, but that's a lot of people. I think Quad has let them know in her own way that she's not friends with most of them on the cast. So, I mean, at least she's not being fake. At least she's not smiling in y'all faces and stuff and then talking behind your back. She's just keeping her distance, I guess. So Phaedra tries to say Quad ushered in a new spirit, especially after the sisters were about to fight. And I'm like, you mean a demonic spirit? Like the spirit it seems like you carry? Okay. Even Dr. Heavenly had to say that Phaedra was full of shit and she watching Phaedra. And you should watch Phaedra, Dr. Heavenly, just like people should watch you. Y'all, birds of a feather. Like, I think you guys are almost just alike. But moving on. So Dr. Simone talks to her oldest son, Miles, about school. And he says Cecil told him not to take summer classes to graduate, but to focus on getting film experience during the summertime. And so Dr. Simone is like, because I think Miles said a wise man told him, and Dr. Simone is like, I want to choke that wise man if I had the strength. He's been in college for 5 years. And I mean, look, college can be very difficult, but I would say a film major is probably one of the easiest majors out there. I've heard 5 years for a lot of different other programs, engineering, business, chemistry. But when you have the means and your parents are paying for school, why the hell is it taking you 5 years to finish a film degree? I mean, so I kind of agree with Dr. Simone. He's stalling. It's time to push him out of the nest and see what he can do. I mean, he'll always have his parents there to, back him up and protect him, but something needs to give. And I agree with Dr. Simone on this. That don't make no sense. But moving on. So Sweetie and Greg are at their wedding venue, and he asks her one thing. How are you doing? And baby, that's when the emotions started to pour. She gets choked up. She's about to cry. And she says she's overwhelmed. Oh, and your ex-wife showed up to my bachelorette party. And so Greg is like, why? And Sweet Tea is like, well, your friend Phaedra invited her. And again, he's like, why? Because she's a messy bitch. Duh. You've been friends with her for over 20 years. You didn't know she's a messy bitch. You know she a trifling bitch. Anywho. So then he says in the confessional that Phaedra knows more than anyone what he went through when it came to his marriage with Quad. So he doesn't understand why she would do something like that. And Sweetie's like, that's your friend. And I'm like, child, Phaedra and friend do not belong in the same sentence. Phaedra is only a friend if there's an opportunity, which means that's not a friend at all, okay? So then, Sweet Tea talks about the expenses with Greg and, how like it's an extra $14,000. And he was like, we probably rushed this, but you know what? I'm going to give you the wedding you want and you deserve. And that was definitely a sweet moment. So I definitely like that part of the scene. So at the wedding rehearsal, child Sweet Tea runs in the rehearsal like she a damn contestant on The Price is Right. I was like, okay, but I mean, hey, it's her wedding. She's happy. So we see her parents and we find out that Greg is even older than them. The mother, I think Greg is like 5 years older than her. So I was like, child, that is quite interesting. So during the rehearsal, Greg steps out and he calls Fraudra, okay? And as usual, she BS's the situation, saying going into a marriage, thinking there's something going on with the ex-wife is no way to come into a marriage. And I'm like, okay, that's true, but who the hell are you to be the one involved in that? That's none of your business. And did Sweet Tea ever say she thought something was going on between maybe Dr. G and Quad? You know what I mean? Or did she just pretty much say respectfully, don't bring up the ex-wife at my wedding event because it's rude? So, Phaedra, child, I don't see how Dr. G can even call her a friend. But Dr. G says there's no reason for Sweet Tea and Quad to even have a relationship. And he says, Phaedra, you better be looking out for Sweet Tea. And Phaedra's like, I'm looking out for her. And I'm like, Phaedra didn't even look out for Candy. We know how that went. And hell, she didn't even look out for Apollo. So good luck with that, Dr. G, if you think she about to be a sister to Sweet Tea. Okay, so moving on. Uh, it's Toya's birthday, and we find out that her birthday is on the same day of the wedding. So Dr. Eugene and her son do something nice for her. We find out that her other son is out of town, so she's like, "Why he ain't called me or whatever?" But it was a sweet little scene. And so from there, we find out that Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Daddy is apparently missing Alora's prom event because of the wedding. I was a little confused on this because I thought they said that they had to leave her prom event. Like, I guess, like, they had to leave early because she's going to prom. And honestly, when I heard that, I didn't believe it because I'm like, I don't know if I believe y'all missing her the actual day of the prom. Now, with that, Dr. Daddy says that, they understand that she has, I guess, prom, but they have to be there for Dr. G because they only get married once. And I'm like, well, your daughter only goes to prom only once. And I think she's a senior. This is her senior prom. So I don't know. I just wasn't convinced that they were missing her pre-prom action. I felt like they did everything and saw her off after she took her pictures. But then I got confused, and I'll explain a little bit later why I got confused. So with Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Daddy in the car, she's still talking shit about Sweet Tea and the marriage on her way to the wedding. Like, it's just like, Dr. Heavenly, can you truly, truly bring it down at least one scene. Just be normal in one scene. But she's just not gonna operate like that, I guess. So now, sidebar, we see Dr. Jackie get out of the car on her way to the wedding, and she looks beautiful, by the way. I actually love the dress. She says that her husband is in the DR still working on the project. But interesting enough, he was able to come to the bachelor party. So he left the DR to go to the bachelor party and then left and went back to the DR and didn't stay for the wedding. I guess that's interesting. But we actually see Dr. Contessa and her husband at the wedding, which I don't know. Did you guys, why did Contessa leave Married to Medicine? Was she kicked out of Married to Medicine or she decided to leave? Y'all let me know because, like I said, I've missed several seasons. But Phaedra and Dr. Simone start talking while they're waiting for the wedding. And Phaedra goes down memory lane, child, with her marriage to Apollo. And she said her and Apollo were together. I think she said since the 12th grade. Do y'all believe that? Because I sure the hell don't. I don't believe that. But moving on. So the wedding starts, and Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Daddy and Toya and Dr. Eugene all walk in together. And baby, we find out Dr. Heavenly is not on the list. And we all know that Dr. Heavenly don't like to be embarrassed. She loves to embarrass other people, but when she get that same treatment, oh, hell no. So, Toya's like, you got to be on the list. You was just at the bachelorette party. Next thing you know, we see in the confessional, Sweet Tea is saying, I told Johnny to take her off the list because my maid of honor said she was talking shit about my marriage and don't play with me. And I said, that's what I'm talking about, Sweet Tea. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. That's what I'm talking about. We need someone who's going to give Dr. Heavenly that action because the rest of them either tolerate her or just flat out ignore her. So, Sweet Tea, I'm here for it, boo. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. So, at that point, the sad part I will say is that Dr. Daddy, Damon, he was also taken off the list, and him and Dr. G are actually good friends. But honestly, if he would have been on the list and Dr. Heavenly was off the list, he wouldn't have stayed anyways because his wife wasn't on the list. So, I mean, I get it. So then they called Johnny, who is the wedding planner, and they got confirmation they are not on the list. And I guess apparently she went live or recorded it on her phone. So then Dr. Heavenly says, I left my baby prom pictures. And then that's when I realized, I was like, okay, is she going to prom that night or is it just the pictures? I'm confused. I could have swore they said in the beginning it was her prom night. So if it's her prom night, I just really don't believe they missed all of the big events that everyone does, of course, before prom, before they send her off. I think they did all of that, sent her off, and they left. But she said prom pictures. So I don't know. I just feel like Dr. Heavenly is being dramatic, but whatever. So, oh, and sidebar, another sidebar. Johnny, the wedding planner, isn't that the guy Candy went off on the Real Housewives of Atlanta when, she had to pretty much check him for telling Phaedra that Candy didn't properly pay him or gave him low wages? That's him, right? I think that's him. And it's interesting that he's on this show and Phaedra's on this show and he's the wedding planner. Child. Okay, so Toya tells the crew that Heavenly is not on the list, and Phaedra is shocked. She making this face like she is so shocked. And I'm like, yeah, I'm shocked too, because I'm trying to understand why your trifling ass was still in there. I'm shocked. Very shocked. And Simone is like me. Simone was laughing. And honestly, oh my gosh, I would have been cracking up. I would have been cracking up because that's what Heavenly gets. That's what she gets. So during the wedding, Sweet Tea is walking down the aisle. She looks absolutely gorgeous. She's glowing. And during the ceremony, Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Daddy come into the wedding. They crash the damn wedding like some ignorant asses. And we all know production did that. Production did it. They was like, look, we paying for this damn wedding, or we helping to pay for this damn wedding. So Dr. Heavily, get your ass in there because we need to see what her response is of you walking into her wedding. So, and then they stayed for the reception too. And I was like, okay, that's bold as hell. So all the girls confront Phaedra about the whole quad invite situation to the bachelorette party. And even Dr. Simone says she know damn well, Phaedra know damn well that if someone invited Apollo to her event, she would be pissed. And we know that, which I think that happened on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, that Apollo showed up with his new girl to like Candy's event or something like that. And Candy was trying to make it clear that she didn't know he was going to show up. And that's when all hell broke loose. I think that was the same season that she made those allegations about Candy, if I'm not mistaken. So, but we all know Phaedra's the type of person where certain rules apply to her and other rules apply to others. So in other words, I can do it as Phaedra, I can do it, but other people can't. That's how she gets down. So during the actual reception, they're partying on the dance floor, and Dr. Heavenly's fake ass tries to hug Sweet Tea, talking about, I love you. I love you. What did I do? I didn't do nothing. I love you, girl. Give me a hug. I love you. And Sweet Tea like, look, you know what you did. We ain't got time for this fake stuff, but I'm not about to have you ruin my reception or whatever. And then the episode goes off. Baby, I was tickled. I was tickled. I loved it. I loved every bit of it. I'm giving this one an A because anytime someone can take Heavenly off of her game, I'm here for it. And the next episode looks like Sweet Tea exposes the hell out of Dr. Heavenly to the point where Dr. Heavenly wants to fight Sweet Tea. And you know when Dr. Heavenly wants to fight someone, you know they done got the best of her. Baby, I'm here for it. Sweet Tea, again, welcome, welcome. I hope you stay this season, next season, whatever season they have, and Dr. Heavenly is still there. You need to keep your ass around. Do you hear me? So with that being said, what did you guys think about this episode? Like I said, I give it an A. I loved it. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you on my next video. Toodles.